What is going on, YouTube people? Neo Cards and Comics here for another weekly sports card market update. Perhaps not one of, I think I feel okay saying it, probably the craziest week ever in sports cards. At least the craziest week since I've had a YouTube channel. And I don't even really think it's that close. I'm going to run down some stuff, and I'm probably going to forget some things. We had all the NFL, PA, Panini, Fanatics stuff. We had PSA 5s turning into BGS 10 Pristines. We had Steph Curry auto stuff. We had Brian Gray, who's been at Leaf for like 67 decades, stepping down. Not sports card related, but as someone born in 1981 and grew up throughout the 80s and 90s, the man, the myth, the legend that carried us through many a days of calling off from school sick, Bob Barker, has passed away. Plinko, all-time best game ever on the show. It's not even close. I spent many a morning with Bob Barker when I would, maybe not really be sick, but stay homesick from school on occasion. We have some eBay news regarding the vault. We have Top/Fanatics doing some crazy stuff with redemptions that apparently people are mad about, but I really don't understand why. Prices going up and down. Shohei Ohtani, Tommy John surgery again. Wander Franco fallout continues to happen. Some guys in baseball are heating up. Bobby Witt, Julio Rodriguez are both still warm. We talked about them like a week or two ago. Basketball seeing a small bump on certain players from Team USA Select. And we are 1 week away from football. I have my main fantasy football draft later today as you all are listening to this. A noon kickoff start for the league that I have been in since the early 2000s. Been in this league almost 20 years. Content creator football draft is this upcoming week as well. That will be live streamed somewhere. Not sure exactly where yet. Probably on my channel. Probably be co-streamed a bunch of different places. That is this week. Trey Lance went from, oh my God, everyone loves him, to everyone hates him. Oh my God, he's a Dallas Cowboy. Everyone needs his cards again. Sam Darnold is seeing a resurgence. It is wild times. We're going to talk about some of this stuff. There's no way I could cover this all. I would need this video to be 3 hours long. First up, though, next week, Labor Day weekend, Ship Shawana card show. I'm going to try to attend this one. I have not locked anything in place as of time of recording. I say that every single time. I am not concerned about a blizzard this time. I will most likely be at this show, but I have not 100% locked that down yet. Trade night, Saturday night, show on Sunday, so you still get your Labor Day to do whatever it is that you would like to do. Typically a very busy show right before football season. This one typically is pretty busy. So hope to see you all there if you can make it. Like I said, hopefully no blizzard this time around. Brad, if we get a September blizzard, never come on your show again. But I think we're safe this time. So hope to see you all at trade night and roaming around the show itself. Let's knock out one of the little ones first. Oh, thank you. I mean, I'm going to say thank you. I don't currently use this, but this now at least puts it on my radar to potentially use. Got to be fair. Very hard on eBay regarding the eBay vault. This was talked about post-national that they were going to make this change. And we got an official announcement. I shouldn't say official announcement. They didn't announce it anywhere. This was a pop-up in the app or on the website when you were kind of flipping through depending on where you went to. They are going to let you item title change things in the eBay vault. If you're not familiar with what this is, the eBay vault, when you put an item in there, they default listed it however they wanted to, and some of them were fine and some of them were god-awful. And if you ran it at auction, you were going to get absolutely murdered because it was missing like half the keywords that you would want in there. They are now allowing this to change. I've seen some people on Twitter already talking about this. I believe this is live. I currently don't have any cards vaulted, so I can't go in and test this myself. But once again, we were pretty tough on eBay for this feature not being in there, but it is now, so it is only fair to cover it this way as well. Like I said, there was some chit chat about this at the National that this was going to happen, but it does appear that it is live. It may have been live for a while. eBay does weird stuff where they beta test things and certain people have access to it for months before other people do. So I just wanted to sneak that one in real quick. Let's go on and fry some bigger fish. This one, hitting on the things that I have not talked about yet first. That's the reason why we're kind of leading off with these things. This came out the other day, I think Thursday or Friday. So some of you may remember Bowman Chrome University had the first Victor Wembanyama rookie cards in it. In his Metropolitan 92 jersey, there was a green parallel numbered to 99. And one of them, he signed my first autograph ever, or first card signed ever. This was shown off at social media. Everyone got all hyped up about it. Product came out. Victor autos were redemptions, including the out of 99 base autos. The whole 9 yards were redemptions. A lot of those have been redeemed already. I don't believe no one's gotten a green out of 99 yet. So a lot of people were wondering, how is this going to work? How's it going to be decided? Is it just completely random? Is it just in a pile and they keep pulling them off the top and it's just randomly mixed in? How are they going to do this? So what came out this week? And once again, I'd like to remind people are mad about this. There was a large thread on the Sports Card Nonsense Facebook page about people being actively upset how this is a scam. How could they do this? Why did they hold this card back? This, that, and the other thing. People don't have a fair shot at this. It was a redemption. It was never going to be. People were really mad that it wasn't in packs. It was never going to be in packs. His autos were a redemption. Now I don't believe that we knew his autos were going to be redemptions, but it's not like just the green to 99 was a redemption. All his cards were a redemption. So I don't understand the hate towards this. So anyways, what are they doing? If you have already redeemed, and they know because they obviously track it on the website, or you redeem a green redemption between now and September 8th, anyone that has redeemed one and a guest, they are flying you, giving you $400 for travel expenses and paying for your hotel room to go to San Antonio and be part of a live drawing to see who gets the first ever special signed card. And then if you don't get it, you'll get your just normal version of the green auto, still a very, very nice card. If you can't make it, there is going to be a digital version of this that you could participate in, probably a Zoom call or something like that you'll be able to partake in. And once again, there is a certain segment of people that are mad about this. It baffles me that people are mad about this. I think this is really cool, quite frankly. I'm sure there's already a comment telling me I'm a Fanatics homer and I'm sucking on the teat of the Fanatics, praying every day that I get a Fanatics sponsorship because I think that this is cool. Thank you for the engagement. This just sounds awesome to me. Okay, cool. I redeemed a green Victor auto. You're going to fly me to San Antonio for this cool experience. I wouldn't be surprised if he's going to be there. I don't know that for sure, but they are kind of pumping this up as like a cool collector experience. They're flying you to San Antonio. Victor plays for the San Antonio Spurs. It's going to be in late September, September 23rd. You know what else starts in late September? Spurs training camp. I wonder if Victor is going to appear at this event. I wonder. Regardless, I mean, if you're going to do a redemption, I know a lot of people hate redemptions. If you're going to do a redemption, this feels like a really cool way to hand one out for a cool card like this. If I had a green redemption pending and they told me this was happening, I'd be pretty excited about it. The only part that sucks is if you pull, because obviously not all the wax has been opened yet. And listen, hey, they're a business. Talk about a smart way to get people to rip a bunch of this product. Is run this out there because there's an expiration date on it. If you don't redeem by September 8th, you don't have a chance to go to the event. You could still get your green auto up until, you know, whatever the date is on the redemption. That's perfectly fine. But to actually partake in this event, so you're a little skewed that way, as in you had to pull this early. If you pull a green auto a month from now, it's going to be too late. You will not have a chance at this first card ever submitted. But that could have been the case if it was live in the product, or they went through the regular redemption product. Someone could have got this card a week ago and you pulled a green a week later. the card's already been redeemed. It's not like, we don't know exactly where it was going to be at in the whole situation. So anyways, I think this is really cool. If you're going to have a redemption, do cool stuff like this. Could you imagine Panini ever doing anything like this? Where there is an event based or an experience tied to the redemption? I think that's pretty cool. I could see them doing things like this more in the future. Maybe not necessarily with this, but I always kind of go back to, I remember when I played DFS baseball and basketball a lot. There was contests where if you won, you would win like a cash prize, but there would also be an experience to go along with it, like tickets to an all-star game, or the FanDuel used to do ones for basketball where they were like local, like you had to live regionally within so many miles of the team when they had their NBA deal. And if you won the tournament, like you'd enter it like the Cavs fans tournament. And if you won it, like the top couple prizes were cash and also like floor seats to the Cavs if you won the small field GPP or whatever it was. And it was, once again, it was region locked. So I think it would be cool. I could see them doing experiences kind of like that, but more for, they wouldn't do a region lock, but like the All-Star game or to attend home run derby. I'm sure they've probably done stuff like this in the past, where it's the chase and whatever the first Topps product out the door is for baseball, you can win a trip to the All-Star game. And if it's past the All-Star game when you open it, we'll give you something cool because you opened it a week after the All-Star game happened. I don't know. They could figure something out. But I like the idea of tying redemptions to an event where you get some extra bonus to it. So once again, I thought this was pretty cool. Curious for your thoughts and comments on this one down below. But for whatever reason, in comment sections and other places, they were taking a lot of heat for this one. Don't know. I almost did a video on this yesterday, and then the Brian Gray thing happened. Not going to dive back into the Brian Gray thing. There really hasn't been anything else that changed on that. We'll see. It'll probably take some time for things to kind of shake out on that. In regards to the details of where he's going, is he not going anywhere? Is he going to go somewhere else? Is Fanatics involved? Are they not involved? What's going on with the fake autos? Was that just a one-off coincidence? Has this been going on forever? There's a whole lot to unpack there, and quite frankly, there's no new information on it. So, obviously, we buried the lead. The biggest news of the week was the Panini NFLPA Fanatics soap opera fiasco, whatever it is. I may do another video on this later in the week, just kind of talking about the various fallouts. This is the product that Panini has on their pre-sale page, or coming soon page, I should say. Mosaic, and someone correct me if I'm wrong. Maybe I missed this. I don't remember Origins being here the other day when I looked at this. I thought Mosaic was the last one on the list when I looked at this. So what they have right now as coming soon product is Encased, which comes out this week. And I'm just looking at NFL product. Elite, plates and patches, black, gold standard, Mosaic, and Origins. I don't remember Origins being here. I feel like this one popped up. I could be wrong. No, there are release dates on this, but Panini changes release dates all the time. So who knows if these are actually still going to be accurate or not. And here's the thing. Just be careful. 2023 wax prices are getting a massive bump because of all this. And quite frankly, most of the product out at this point is at best under any normal situation. Now, we are not in a normal situation right now. I'm just saying, I'm preaching a little bit of caution on this stuff. This stuff could change at any time. Or we could have a major dry spell coming with NFL product. I think that is 100% in play. The essential scenarios that we are looking at here, is we've all kind of had some time to marinate on this stuff, is they're allowed to release what's already in the pipeline. That's kind of option one, which would essentially be, my guess, is this stuff, unless they keep sneaking things onto this list. So Mosaic would probably, let's assume nothing else releases beyond what's on here. Mosaic is the best product on this list, probably followed by Origins. That's essentially what you're looking at as your main football products, if this is all that indeed comes out. We'll see. Once again, we don't really know. There could be a spell where we get unlicensed stuff. It's so hard to even talk about because we literally do not know what is going to happen. I'm just preaching caution, caution, caution. Don't go crazy. There is going to be some unattended consequences with this, as we always have kind of talked about on the channel over the years. Is the sports card market, hobby, whatever it is that you want to call the thing, is a living, breathing thing. It has an ecosystem. If you mess with something over here, it has direct impacts on certain things, but then there's also unintended consequences that happen. If we have a dry spell for wax, for 2023 football wax, guess what? People that primarily break football product are still going to want to break football product. Does that cause demand for the older stuff to shoot up? We've kind of already seen that a little bit. 2022 wax has kind of bumped up a little bit. Demand for older wax has gone up a little bit. Because those guys break football product, they're going to need football product to break if this goes real sideways, where we don't have new product coming out, or product that is not licensed, or that does not have NFL uniforms or logos, or whatever the case might be. If we get into any sort of dry spell where there is not good product to open, what are people going to do? They're going to go backwards. And that's going to impact the supply chain. What really sucks here in the grand scheme of things is, as collectors, this blows. If you're a football card collector, in the short term, you have a ton of uncertainty, and there is a big potential for this to get very ugly for a decent amount of time. I don't think any of this moves quickly. Now, I wouldn't be surprised if any day that a press release drops that says Fanatics bought Panini, or so-and-so settled, or this court ruling came out, or whatever that's in play. But I just feel like this stuff's not going to move very fast. There are a lot of real people that are going to get hurt by this. Card shops, breakers, people that make a living or a side hustle in the distribution, selling, breaking, whatever it is, of football cards. If this goes long enough, that stuff is going to trickle down and affect them. Once again, we talked about breakers. Or is there going to be enough product available for them to sustain if their audience is primarily football cards? Do they have the capital to go back and buy older wax? Older wax gets expensive. And then from a collector standpoint, if you're buying into breaks or buying product or looking to rip something, now you're paying more to get into whatever it is that product is that everyone's going back and chasing, maybe depending on which rookies pop out. They're not rookies, but which players pop out this year. Does that put demand on older wax? The singles market's going to be weird if all we get is Mosaic. Does that mean the Genesis is like the best card you could possibly get of someone? A lot of the rookie autos are not going to be in there. It doesn't look like we're going to get any CJ Stroud or Bryce Young or Will Levis rookie autos in any product. Once again, they're not going to come out and say that, but everything sure points that way. I mean, we're like 99.9% sure at this point. So if you are chasing 2023 product, or just NFL product in general right now, anything involving a football card, just have an extra level of caution and due diligence before you do anything. That's the best thing that I could tell you. I'm not really chasing any of this stuff. I'm not going to play the retail arbitrage game, or get into this stuff at pre-order prices and hope that it goes up. Hopefully everything can get figured out, and ultimately we get either Topps Chrome football with licensed stuff on it, or Panini's able to continue what they're doing. We just need some form of resolution. Hell, maybe something comes out that they're both going to be printing cards for a while. Who knows? Everything and anything is on the table at this point. I just think it's going to be a hot minute before we get resolution on it. But what do I know? Let's get into some charts and graphs. Market movers, link in the description down below. If you want your own version of charts and graphs, you can get a couple weeks free, and then you can get a 20% discount off your subscription plan that you sign up for life. We got to start off with Ohtani first. Boy, that sucked. That news coming out that he tore his Tommy John. He is going to still continue to hit. I do worry. There's a lot of implications here. One, his single prices were sky high. They have come down. We'll look at some examples here in a minute. There is the whole Topps Chrome MVP buyback factor into all this, which adds a very, very interesting wrinkle now that we all know that this is a thing, and the various nonsense and social media posts that circle around this were comical at best. Is he still the front runner for AL MVP? Yes, assuming he continues to play. If he does not play another game, he is probably still the AL MVP, because the AL MVP race is kind of in a weird spot. There's not like a clean-cut second place guy. That's part of the problem. It would be like, I think it's like Corey Seager and Kyle Tucker and somebody else are like the odds-on favorite for like second place. And they're fine, but they're not, no one's having like an insane season. It's not like the NL where you have Acuna, Freeman, and now Mookie Betts just battling it out for the NL MVP. So there is that weird little factor. If you have some AL frontrunners, maybe tuck them away. I'm a little concerned about Ohtani playing through this. If anything at all happens, they are going to shut him down. Now, whether there's risk in that or not, I don't know. I am not an arm specialist, but it seems not great. Now, for the overall macro side of his career, he's still an absolutely tremendous hitter, if nothing else. And he could have a long, storied career just smashing the baseball. The unique thing to him was that he was the dual threat. That was what was baked into a lot of his prices. So it's going to take a minute for that stuff to correct and for us to kind of figure out what the new normal is for his prices, assuming he is a hitter only. Because Tommy John's at least a year. I haven't really looked at much. I just assume he's probably not pitching next year, wherever he goes. At least not much anyway. And if he has the surgery, I don't think that would impact him in regards to hitting for next year. But obviously for pitching, and like I said, the whole point of him is, not the whole point, but a lot of what's baked into his prices is the dual threat nature or the dual stats or whatever you want to call it, nature that is Ohtani, because he's a freak. It's absolutely insane what he does year in and year out. And this is now the second time he's having Tommy John surgery on that elbow. That is usually not very promising. The second Tommy John. So will he ever pitch again? At this point, who knows? Could he go on and have a massive career as a hitter? Absolutely. What do his card prices look like? That's the question. So as of right now, the immediate impacts are he is dipping, obviously, duh. Over the last 7 days, I just pulled some of his more, a little bit, just kind of all over the place, base stuff, refractors, the whole nine. Generally speaking, it's about a 15 to 20% drop. Now, a lot of this is still fresh. I think by next weekend, when we do this same video again, next Sunday, we'll have a better idea of exactly how much of a hit he's taken. Some of this stuff sold within the last couple days. Some stuff, a lot of auctions are still running. This is still all pretty fresh. But generally speaking, we're looking at a 10 to 20% drop already. I would not be surprised if that drops more. We saw the same thing, different situation. We'll talk about him in a minute. With Wander Franco, it kind of took really almost 2 full weeks to see what happened there. And, you know, if he comes out and he keeps hitting and keeps crushing the baseball, maybe his dip is not as hard as it once was. There's still also the interesting angle that he's a free agent at the end of the year. You know, he is still going to get paid a ton of money. There's no doubt about that. So does he get a bump from a team switch depending on where he goes? Does this open up the chances that he stays with the Angels? I doubt it. I think he's out of there. Just so many moving parts with this one. If you have a ton of money in Ohtani, it sucks. I don't know. Here's the thing. This is the one time where, you know, what's his path to getting back to peak prices? It would be him smashing home runs and pitching again. I don't know that the pitching again thing, how viable that is. At least at the level that he was doing it at. That's the part that we don't know. So that's the scary part in regards to getting back. If he is just a hitter now, then the whole market has to recalibrate to him just being a hitter. So, I don't know. Tricky times in the Ohtani streets. I own basically no Ohtani. The last one that I had was the Ohtani striking out Trout from a couple weeks ago when that card went all viral and crazy, and I sold that one. I put that thing up on eBay. It was gone within a minute. Next up, speaking of guys crashing, we have some more realization of Wander Franco prices. This is over the last 30 days. His PSA 10 first Bowman Chrome auto has just taken a massive hit. That thing is down almost 70%, this card right here. Now down to $250. And that was a couple days ago. The last one sold. Generally speaking, once again, you were looking at 60 to 70% off on his prices. We still have no clarity in this situation, just a bunch of rumors and Twitter hot takes that he's going to be fine or he's never going to touch a baseball again, at least not unless it's in the California Penal League. I'm not doing anything with this. I'm not touching any of his stuff. It would have to be free for me to hit the buy it now on some of his stuff. People are still chasing. If you're riding this one out, more power to you. If you're going down with this ship like the Titanic, I wish you well on that journey. It's not looking good. Obviously, anything can change, but no thanks for me. I'm just not playing this game. I wouldn't be surprised if his stuff continues to go down, especially if there's anything more cryptic that comes out. $250 on a PSA 10 auto is awfully cheap. This was a $1,000 card at the beginning of the season and way more than that at one point in time a couple of years ago. We'll see what happens, but it's a big no thanks for me. If you still have Wander stuff, like, let me know, like, what's the thought process there? Is it just, hey, I'm just going down with the ship, I don't want to take the loss? Like, I really want to deep dive the headspace of someone that's saying, we're just riding it out, baby. We're just riding it out. Do you just not need the money? Like, what's the thought process on that if you're riding it out with the Wander Franco stuff? I would love to hear from anyone doing that in the comments down below. Let's switch over and look at football. We mentioned these indexes in last week's video. These are the new quarterback indexes for the different classes. Once again, these indexes hold quarterback rookie cards. It is Optic Holo PSA 10s and select field level silver PSA 10s. No Prism Silvers because of the weird nature of Prism Silvers over the years in regards to population count. It would be super swingy. Over the last 30 days, you could see most of the classes are dipping. 2020, 2021. Have fun with that one, ladies and gentlemen. Is up ever so slightly. 2020 down 12%. 2017 down 10%. 2018 up 15% on the backs of who, you might ask? Sam Darnold. Flipping Steve's favorite quarterback, Sam Darnold, got named the backup. Trey Lance is gone, and Sam Darnold stuff got a bump for being the backup. Can't make this stuff up, folks. So these indexes, we'll probably look at these every week as we kind of move throughout the NFL season. Maybe we'll do a more macro look once a month or something like that, but should be interesting to see how these fluctuate. You could see just one player kind of catching the wave a little bit can cause these things to shift up with that 2018 one really taking off. Kind of interesting that since the National, 2020 and 2017 have cooled off quite a bit with a little bit of a 10% dip there. And here's the thing, folks. Like I mentioned at the top, we're a week or two away from real NFL games. About 10 days, 11 days or so to that first Thursday night football game. And now it's time. We put lofty expectations on these guys. We talk about it all the time. I hate carrying football into the season. I really do. At least anyone with anything baked into it. If you're talking about guys that don't have a lot baked in, I'll use Deshaun Watson for example, because, you know, my local quarterback, say what you will about him. I do own one silver Prism that I am actually carrying in the season, hence the point here. He had very low expectations and not much baked into his prices. His stuff's pretty cheap. If he pops off, it's going to be a lot easier for that Prism Silver to double or triple in value than it is for Joe Burrow, Justin Herbert, and those guys, because there's a ton baked into their prices. If those guys don't absolutely ball out, their prices are going to come down. We see it all the time. And there is a lot of competition in the AFC and the NFC, especially the AFC, for quarterbacks. Not all of them can win every single game. It's just what's going to happen. So a lot of pain. This is where the pain sets in now. And not talking about injury. I'm talking about card price pain. These guys get out there. They do not live up to the lofty expectations that we have been putting on them all off season. All these huge numbers that are baked into their prices. And it doesn't take long for things to fall. A lot of these guys are going to go down. Someone will go up. There will be a couple breakouts. Some people that no one cares about, no one's talking about. Maybe it's Geno Smith. Maybe it's Russell Wilson on a comeback tour. Maybe it's my boy Deshaun Watson. Who knows? Could be someone that's just completely off the radar at quarterback that, you know, they've just been kind of going on throughout the offseason. No real price change. And then they come out and win the first 3 or 4 games of the season, throwing for 350 yards, 3 touchdowns, no interceptions. And next thing you know, their prices are going to the moon, while Joe Burrow and Justin Herbert are playing perfectly fine but perfectly fine isn't good enough to justify what people spend on their cards, and their prices are going to fall. That's my prediction on what happens. That's typically what we see. And then you also, once the real games start, you ramp up the injury risk. I've never liked holding football in the season. My general plan with football for anyone with anything baked in is to not leave the national with it. Now, like I said, the Watson thing, if you're quarterback specking on someone that their prices haven't taken off yet, that's a little bit of a different story. I'm talking about guys that have a lot baked into their prices. Josh Allen, Patrick Mahomes. Patrick Mahomes is a little bit different because he has the Super Bowl rings. But you kind of get my point. So that's where we're at with football. Fun times ahead. It should be interesting with the fantasy football draft. Let's close out on some NBA talk real quick. We are probably running drastically long on this one, but there is a lot to talk about today. Team USA Select has been playing. The buzziest player from camp is Anthony Edwards, and that buzz has reached the ears of sports card collectors, investors, flippers, hobbyists, whatever you want to qualify us all as, or some combination of all of them. Silver Prism PSA 10 getting a little bit of a bump over the last 30 days, up 30%. These games kick off in full, I think, pretty soon here. It might even be this week. Edwards has definitely been getting the pump. I listen to a lot of the NBA podcasts out there, and everyone is saying he looks absolutely fantastic. He's the star of the team. He's the alpha. He's the leader. Now, does it carry it over in the season? Who knows? We have seen in the past that the select games, like the Team USA Select, the World Games, whatever you want to call them, do have an impact on prices. I think it was last year or the year before, Luka went absolutely ballistic in this tournament, and his card prices spiked because of it. So expect price movement in NBA. So if you've been kind of sleeping on basketball, you might want to dig through your cases or pay attention to the box scores from those games or listen to an NBA podcast every now and again to kind of keep you in the loop on what's going on with that, because card prices will move based off those games. We are in the absolute dead zone for NBA. We really have been there for the last month. But you're starting to hear whispers. Like I said, I think it was a week or two ago, Card Collector 2 trade night. There was this like undercurrent, almost like it was a dirty word. People were kind of walking around like, what do you got any basketball stuff? I know. We're only supposed to be dealing with football right now, but you got some NBA? Some Edwards? Some Luka? What do you got? Ja Morant? Anything? Darius Garland? Who you got? Tatum? Anything? I'll take a look at anything. There was definitely that vibe, but it seemed like every time someone asked, it was always like in hushed tones. Like no one else wanted anyone to know that basketball cards exist. But we're going to be there before you know it. You know, we really are. We are at the doorstep of September, and the NBA season kicks up in October. So we will be there before we know it. If I think about it, I'll probably wait till after the NFL season kicks off. We'll fire up an NBA Best Ball League. We did 2 of the NFL ones. Maybe we'll fire up an NBA one to go along with those as well. So that is all I have for you, boys and girls. I haven't looked at the runtime on this yet. I assume it's going to be a long one. So tons of stuff happened this week. We'll see what the hobby brings for us this upcoming week. My PSA order has arrived. I'm waiting on a ComC shipment to begin uploading. I have a ComC video coming out because I sent them a bunch of cards, so I recorded what I sent them. That's been recorded for like a week. It was supposed to come out this past week, and then all the nonsense happened. So that'll be up sometime this week. We get the Ship Shawana show, long weekend, and then football is finally back. I look forward to the fantasy football draft this week. Like I said, that'll probably be live streamed. I'll probably carry it on my channel. So if you want to hang out with Dustin and Steve and I and whoever else, that will be in the early part of this week. No draft order for that yet. Come on, Flipping Steve. Give us a draft order. Catch boys and girls on the next one. Peace.